Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be breaking down an 8 kill game win with the AMAX and the CARV2, and I'm going to be breaking down my decision making and my thought process so you can get a better idea on how to win games. Now I'm actually in the top 10% for wins in Warzone, so I figured I'd spread my knowledge and let you guys know how to do a little bit better in Warzone. Now I am no Nick Mercs or Aiden, so I'm not going to be showing you how to drop Superstore, get a 50 kill gameplay. It's just simply not how I play because quite frankly my gun skill isn't good enough. But I actually win games by making smart decision making and not picking every single fight that I come across. So let's get underway. As you can see, first of all, I actually drop onto a helicopter at hospital. I do this purely because I want to pick up a couple of kills. Yeah, I know I just said I'm not playing overly aggressive, but I just felt like at this game I'm playing with my wife who actually got 0 damage and 0 kills. She's not the best at the game, and no, it wasn't a complete bot lobby. In fact, the average KD was in and around mine anyway. But anyway, I drop into the helicopter, go to kill a couple of people at the top of hospital roof. I actually get RPG to the face, as you'll see now, and then I have to win my gulag and restart. So I'm actually already gulagged down in the first minute or so into the gameplay, which actually puts you at a major disadvantage. I would advise against doing this. So I actually spend the next 3 minutes just looting up, getting enough cash for a loadout so I can get my weapons straight away, and obviously have a couple of perks to my advantage. After a bit more looting so I can get a bit more ammo and things like this, the first loadout actually drops. So I take my advantage of knowing I have loadout and thinking, you know, they may or may not have loadout, but I'm going to aggressively take a stance here to start taking people out of the map, as I actually want my loadout. No, I don't just dive in straight away into my loadout. I actually scout the ground off first, make sure no one's camping it, and if they are, I know where they are, so I'm not going to jump straight on my loadout. And it turns out someone was camping it, but I didn't see them. Anyway, we were fairly near cover, and as you'll notice, I actually popped down a couple of C4s in that gameplay, just to make sure that if anybody goes for their loadout, I can actually pop them, and I know I'm going to get another C4, and I've also got a munitions box, so if I do desperately need the extra grenade, then I've got it. But I know I've got one additional from getting my loadout, and I pop those both down first, and that there is enough to down someone, and it can actually come in really useful, as you will see. Anyway, my wife gets downed. I have to go res and get her. I know no one's near me because actually you can't hear them that close through your headphones from that sniper bullets, and as you can see, that C4 came in really useful. He only had one way to push us without being overly aggressive. He tried to push on him, but I heard him through my headphones, so I quickly finished the res, got a couple of shots in him, and downed him with my C4. But I also took the time to back up, get behind some cover, so if his other teammate tried to push and flank us, he had a difficult time doing so. And again, I noticed that he's got a bouncing Betty, so I just throw it on the ground. If his teammate pushes or if anybody goes for that gear, then they're going to get hit, and I'm going to have a bit of map knowledge of where people are. Actually, every single time I come across a claymore or a proximity mine, I pop them on the ground. Now bear in mind, you can only place 2 in a game, as in only 2 will stay active in a game, otherwise they'll just despawn, but it gives you a bit of map knowledge so you can remember where you've placed them. So if it blows up, I tend to try and put them in open areas, but it's just great for map knowledge down the line. So another instance here, I'm actually on top of a roof and I hear footsteps below me, and I take this moment to get in a bit of a not so used position because I don't think many people know that you can jump up into there, and if they do, they just don't go there that often. So when people push through doors, that's not their first line of sight. In fact, they stay along level playing fields. So I get up there to get a bit of a height advantage, and as you'll see here, it pays off really well, even though my accuracy was pretty horrendous. Got him, don't worry. And now there's a couple of key points here. Now, as you can see, I've used the UAV to get a bit of map knowledge and see where some enemies are. And as you'll see, now I can see a couple of teammates right by a vehicle. Now I've got some C4, so I can potentially play this a little bit aggressive. However, I don't want to be running out in the open because I don't want to be run over by that vehicle. So I actually take a couple of moments, wait and see what this vehicle does, because I'm in no rush. Whilst gas is pushing, I've got enough time to move across and just hold out and wait to see what they do. Because if they came my way, I don't want to be in the middle of the open ground and get shot at, run over, whatever it being. They'll have the vehicle as cover, I'll have nothing as cover, and that can end very badly. So I'll take a couple of moments, look to see where they're going, hold off. They go in the opposite direction, which is great for me because it means I avoid an unnecessary fight where I'm actually going to be pushed against time limit because gas is pushing, as mentioned. So you want to pick some fights. I'm not just shooting over in their direction, even though I can see where they're at. Now another point here, you can see still in stadium, I actually get some high ground here because I know I've got to push across all this empty ground. Now the best way to do this is to get across it as quick as possible. Now I've got a couple of options, is the vehicle, or I can run across, or I can glide across by getting up to a really high point. Vehicle is going to give people map knowledge of where I am, whereas if I run across, similar sort of situation previously, people are just going to be able to shoot me. I'm not going to have any cover whatsoever. And third option, which is the best option, which I took, is I got up to the really high ground, glided across. Yes, again, you can still be shot, but you're much quicker gliding across open ground, and then I can get to cover really quickly. So then at this point, I take a look at the minimap and I actually realize, do you know, sitting on top of a ray at this point in time might actually be a smart decision, because not everyone really looks up there. There is enough cover to make sure that you can stay alive if anybody's down below. Very difficult. If you're not playing aggressive, it's very difficult to be killed up there. Obviously, people can use precision airstrikes and things like this, but you can run on out of the way or jump on out of the way and go from there. But I'd take the decision to go up there, knowing that that keeps us out of the way of a lot of gunfights. And at this point in the game, as we're closing in on that fourth circle, it's really about map position. You really want to be staying in the strongest position possible. So if fights come your way, if you're dragged out other ways, then you can get to different cover, or you have the strongest cover possible. And in this situation, we have really strong cover. And there's an instance here where I actually see people down below, but I know they're fighting someone. And I know if I start shooting at people, if you remember what I said earlier about this up here being some great cover if you're not playing aggressive. Now, I don't want to shoot those people because they were fighting somebody else. I know they're going to take out another team, or they're going to be taken out by another team. I don't need to waste my bullets here. And if they take out the other team in the building, then great for me. We get rid of some campers inside of there. And if not, then I can just take them out because they're out in the open. But I get the option and I don't need to take that fight. I don't need to risk anything here. At this point, I noticed someone potentially looking at me, and instead of them being able to line up their shot and shoot me, I figured I'd take the opportunity to try and down them. I think my cover's been blown. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think it's worth the risk of not shooting at them. But I know there's a bertha below me, which is going to be great cover, especially in duos. So I drop down and get to the bertha. And then pretty much directly after that, my wife gets killed, but she actually calls out something really useful here.
Billy, they're above us.
She sticks around, uses communication, and lets me know that they're above us. So I know somebody's camping right at the top of a ray. They must have got up there on a helicopter early on in the game and did very similar to us by not shooting people. But you notice the moment I start shooting, we got shot at by people above us. So it was actually really smart of us to not be shooting at anybody up until that point. Otherwise, we both could have died a lot sooner, or one of us could have died a lot sooner. So with this information to hand, I get in the bertha and I start moving around. I know there's someone in the house straight in front of me. I know there's a team above me. That's one or two. She did say they, so I'm assuming there's two up there, and that's useful. That's why you watch kill cams and relay information along to your teammates. And at this point, I'm just trying to avoid getting near people because I don't want somebody to whack some C4 on my bertha and blow it up. So I want to try and remain as distant as possible from people. Really just skirt around the edges of the map, scout out where people are at. I know someone's on top of a ray. I know somebody's in front of me up on that hill, potentially somebody in the building as well. So that's 3 out of the 4 teams. I roughly know where they are. However, I think there's only 2 and there's potentially 1 team down here. So that's why I've gone down here to scout this out, just to see where everybody is at. And that's where I spot one running across. Again, I don't want to try and run him over or get out of my bertha because I can be shot in the back at this point, but I now know where every team is in the map, and that's really useful going forwards. However, I'm going to want to try and get this high ground because it's going to be the strongest position to be in. And at the point I see somebody parachuting in, I know that's the people on a ray. So actually, it gives me clearance to be able to go and get the high ground now without getting shot in the back from them. I know there's that other team in the house / on that hilltop anyway, but I've got a bertha. I can use that to my advantage, and I'm just going to have to take the risk with the C4. To be honest, I think I got quite lucky here because they weren't particularly great players because they didn't even turn around and notice me there. But as I run them over, you'll notice I see someone on my right. So that means I know where one of the last 2 are. But at this point, I need to get a little bit more creative, stay in the bertha, get map position. At this point, I'm probably assuming they don't have any explosives to destroy my vehicle with because I would have thrown it already. But let's keep watching. You'll notice here I made a bit of a mistake. I actually missed them with the bertha. So I actually get out because I know my vehicle is going to be blown up very shortly otherwise. Throw the C4, start getting around the corner, and then blow the C4 up and get quite lucky and get it down here. Either way, I know I need to regen. This guy's either going to start rezzing his teammate, which gives me a couple of moments to play. Really, he should have pushed around really aggressively on me here. In fact, he makes a bit of a mistake and backs off. Here, I push around the mountainside, so I've got cover between me and them, so I've got a chance to play it up. And I do something really important here. I throw a stun grenade because I know if they've crossed right, they're already in the building, so I can worry about that then. They're still out in the open, which I think they are. Then I get a massive advantage by stunning someone. So I do that and really aggressively push once I get the hit marker and get the dub. Let me know in the comment section below how many wins you've got and where you need to improve the most. I know it's just general gun skill. My accuracy isn't fantastic. It's okay, but ultimately that's where I really need to improve, especially in panic close range moments. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this video really helped out. If you want to see something again like this, I've actually got a rebirth gameplay where I win again. It was actually with random quads, so the communication just wasn't there, but we use pings quite effectively. So again, let me know in the comments below if you want to see a breakdown of that.